Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I am fantastic. How are you doing?
Good. We are sneaking right up on Christmas because this is the last Friday before Christmas, unless, of course, you count Christmas Day. That's next week. Going to be exciting, fun stuff. So
isn't that crazy that it's already that close?
It is crazy. Hey, coming up later today, we're going to talk with Dr. Donna Hamilton about Wellness Your Way. So that's a special program we'll be doing. Also, take a listen to this. For the first time this century, a full moon will line up with Christmas Day. So Christmas Eve, I think, is when it is.
I saw that online. That's cool.
Weather Channel says there has not been a full moon on Christmas since 1977. There won't be another one until 2034.
Whoa.
So for those of you who want to get a really good picture, be waiting for Santa to go in front of the full moon to snap that silhouette. That would be really nice. So that's going to be happening Christmas Eve, I guess. All right, coming up, we got some special things going on today. We're going to tell you all about those in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
Today's a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Today is Answer the Telephone Like Buddy the Elf Day.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Friday, December the 18th. I forgot to tell you that part. But it is Answer the Telephone Like Buddy the Elf.
I love Buddy the Elf.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. That was that's been out a long time now. It seems like it was just 2 or 3 years ago, but it's like 10 years ago. It is also Arabic Language Day today. It is International Migrants Day. It is National Ugly Sweater Day. I'm celebrating that one. And it's Underdog Day, so a day to celebrate the little guy. So
there you go.
A lot of special things going on today. How does Buddy Elf answer the phone? Do you remember? You don't, apparently? Hello, this is Buddy the Elf.
Yeah, but then he says
something or other. I don't remember what we'll have to look it up. See, we're going to have to figure that out so we can celebrate that today. Thank you so much for listening. On the way, we have a story about Santa suing somebody. We'll tell you what's going on there in just a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. A bit ago, we were telling you today is Answer the Telephone Like Buddy the Elf Day, and you're supposed to say at least one time today, hello, this is Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color? That's what you're
right.
supposed to do.
We had to look it up. We couldn't remember what it was that he said.
Now,
I'm a little disappointed in us.
I know.
We should have remembered that.
We should definitely have known
As soon as we read it, we're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember now. Hey, got this for you, and you know it's true because you heard it on the radio. A shopping mall Santa in Virginia wasn't all that jolly. He's going to be suing. Donna Underwood's version of Santa just wasn't cutting it with the kids. After a few hours on the job, shoppers began complaining about Santa's squeaky voice confusing the children. The kids started reportedly yelling, "Santa's a woman!" Donna signed up to be Santa, and they had to hire her. Management from the mall had to let her go, replace her with a man. She immediately offered alternate employment as a Santa's elf, but she resigned the next day. Now she's suing for sexual discrimination.
Sorry, but there are just some jobs that you can't.
So they hired her because she made a case that you have to hire me. You can't not hire me for this.
No, that's ridiculous.
So there were complaints from the kids that were very confused. They're like, why do you guys have a woman dressed like Santa?
Yeah.
So they offered her a job to be an elf. She turned it down and walked away. Now she's suing.
Well, she can't.
It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
I don't know how that's going to possibly pan out.
Donna Underwood, you are on the naughty list. I can tell you that.
Yes,
that is
she
not a
is.
nice thing to do. I don't know why that's happening. It's in Virginia. It's where this is going to be taking place. So I just think it's really sad that somebody would come in and trying to prove a point, do what she's doing. I don't exactly understand if this is something she's doing with part of a larger group or if this is just her on her own doing this. But I just think it's really sad. It's like an attack on Christmas right there.
People with that attitude are just so angry.
Yeah,
they're so angry, and they just want to make other people as miserable as they are.
Don't be miserable.
And it's
Be
too bad.
happy. Be
It's Christmas.
jolly. Smile. Be cheerful.
Santa, unfortunately, has been typecast as a man. He's a man. End of story. Sorry.
There you go. And there are a lot of things that men wouldn't be able to do, so do one of those things. All right, coming up, we've got some other stuff. We're going to move on. You know this story is true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. A Florida woman gives herself to the authorities after asking for another beer. Fort Pierce, Florida man called the police after he came home from work and spotted an intoxicated woman drinking a beer on the roof of his home.
Oh!
28-year-old woman was taken into custody after she refused to get down and leave. The police said the woman agreed to leave if you'll give me one more beer. The woman, who faced disorderly intoxication charges, has been in trouble before. A police report shows that she was suspected of stealing money from her sister to buy alcohol back in October.
Oh.
Last week, an officer who went to her apartment on a disturbance report reported that she was intoxicated and wouldn't quiet down.
That's too bad. She's
So,
clearly got a problem.
Definitely.
That's unfortunate.
And if this is something that you're going through, or if you know somebody going through this, there are so many organizations out there that want to help you. And we say this all the time. You know, we poke around, poke fun at people for being on drugs or being drunk or whatever it is in this segment. Find help. It's not that we want to make fun of them. We really want to draw attention to the fact that there are organizations right here in this area even that want to help you. Reach out, get the help. You deserve it. Coming up, we have your moment of duh. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
If you're planning on going deer hunting, be sure you know what a deer looks like. A farmer in Kentucky has been driving around town proudly showing off the enormous deer that he shot. Now this same farmer has about an $8,000 stack of fines and a year in jail because he bagged an elk, one from the wildlife reserve.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He's pled not guilty.
Are you not allowed to shoot elk? I don't know anything about hunting.
It depends on where you are, but this was an elk from a wildlife reserve, and they were trying to, it says here, he pled guilty to the charge of possessing an elk, mainly because he didn't intend to shoot the elk. So in other words, he's saying, I'm guilty of possessing the elk, but I feel like I'm not really guilty of intentionally killing an elk. I thought that was a giant deer. It was an accident, Your Honor. So, and if you've ever seen an elk and you've seen a deer, they do look very similar. But if you're going to go shooting,
not closely enough to
if you're going to go out
them.
Shooting anything, make
Their
sure you know what
antlers
you're
are completely
shooting.
different. You would know just by looking at. Unless it was one that doesn't have any, then I guess maybe. I don't know
what it was. All I can tell you, and their antlers are even somewhat similar. So just be very careful. Know what you're shooting before you shoot. That's your moment of duh.
The scoop of the day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. A Pennsylvania woman has been jailed on charges that she broke into a neighbor's home where she was caught doing her own laundry in the lady's bathtub.
In her bathtub?
What are you doing in here? Stealing my laundry?
Why wouldn't she use the washing
I have no clue. I don't know. And I don't know why she wouldn't have just done it in her own bathtub if she was going to use the bathtub. No clue. Hey, the day of the week with the most workplace murders is what day, Heidi?
Friday.
No, it is Monday. One more reason to dislike Mondays. All right. A 2-year-old in South Carolina reportedly found a gun in the back of his car that he was riding in. This is a 2-year-old, and he shot his grandmother in the back.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, a little boy in South Carolina found a gun, picked it up, and shot his grandma. That's not good.
My gosh. Why would they have left it just laying around?
You don't do that. That's not the proper way to take care of a weapon. If you own a weapon, you should know how to take care of a weapon.
You have to be a responsible gun owner if you're going to be a gun owner.
Otherwise, don't own a gun.
Right.
Turns out all those Christmas reindeer stories you've been told are wrong. According to the Alaska Department of Fish and Game, both male and female reindeer grow antlers in the summer. Each year, male reindeer's antlers are gone by the beginning of winter, usually late November, mid-December. So female reindeers do retain their antlers until after they've given birth in the spring. So Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Donner, all those, they're all females. Because at this time of year, they would not have antlers if they were male reindeer.
And it's not Donner, by the way. It's Donder.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Oh, see, I don't know. I don't know. There's like Grumpy, And
No.
it's happy?
No,
that's different?
No.
All right. Research published in the journal Sleep reveals that tweens and teens are doing a lot more texting and talking than their parents might have realized. In fact, 62% of kids admitted to using cell phones even after they've gone to bed for the night.
Yeah.
So
we have a problem with that at our house, too.
I know. I'll see some of the posts on Facebook and some of the times that things are posted online, and I'm like, what were you doing up at 3 in the morning?
Yeah.
And our son's like, oh, I couldn't get to sleep. I'm like, yeah, because you were on Facebook. So quit doing that. Hey, 1 out of every 10 people in the entire planet is now on Facebook. If that doesn't sound like a lot, keep in mind there are currently more than 7 billion people in the world, and 1 out of 10 of them are all on Facebook. How crazy is that?
And a lot of the world doesn't even have
I know. There are places where
computers
they don't have
or internet or anything. So that's pretty high.
If you're one of those 10% of 7 billion people, be sure to like our page while you're on there. Hey, contributing to the problem of overcrowded jails is Florida's Michael Carl Lindsay. He's accused of burglarizing 2 trailers in Panama City Beach, and police know it was Lindsay because one of the break-ins, he helped himself to a bite to eat, he watched some TV, took a shower, and had a nap. He finally left, but he forgot to take his wallet,
Oh, my
which
gosh.
contained his Social Security card and ID. So they know it was him. What an idiot. In England, a woman parked her car near her house. When she returned, she discovered workmen had painted a disabled zone around it. To make matters worse, a parking officer gave her a ticket for supposedly parking in a disabled space. But it wasn't disabled when she walked in.
Oh, my gosh.
But
I
when she
really
came
hope
out-
she fought that.
So I don't know if this... I actually saw a video on the internet where somebody had done this. I don't know if this is the one. The one that I had seen was like 6 months ago or maybe even longer than that. All right, let's end with our strange law. Sunshine is legally guaranteed to the masses in California. So they cannot take away your sunshine. It's legally guaranteed to you.
But what if it's a cloudy day, rainy day?
You're
Can you sue the government because
No.
I'm guaranteed sunshine?
You are at will to get as much sunshine that is available to you. The reason they have this law is so somebody can't build something to block out the sun. So you could actually sue somebody if somebody built a structure.
What zone are we? Are we watching Phineas and Ferb here?
No,
or what are we
I did
talking
see an
about?
episode of The Simpsons that had this. But if you build something so big that it blocks out the sun for somebody, they can sue you, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what it's for. Sunshine is legally guaranteed to the masses in California. I'm almost positive it has something to do with solar energy, but it is a strange law. And this has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us today, and it's a very timely topic we're going to be talking about. This is the time of year where cold and flu season kind of rolls around, people get sick, and we're going to talk about why wellness means more than just not being sick. We're going to visit with Dr. Donna L. Hamilton. Dr. Hamilton, how are you today?
I'm great, and it's a great day to talk about being healthy, right?
It is. This is a time of year where people start to kind of get sick, and it goes for the next couple of months. Before we get too far, I want to make sure we let people know you have a book that we're going to be talking about, too, Wellness Your Way. How long has this book been out?
It's new. It launched last month, and we are doing really well. It became a bestseller on launch day, so people are loving it, and we're getting great feedback.
That's
in just
awesome.
one short month it's been out officially.
Very cool. Well, we're going to come back and talk more about that. But what are some of the things people can do to avoid getting the cold and the flu during this cold and flu season?
Oh, yeah, there are many things. So we want to remember the basics, right? So we want to wash our hands, especially when we've been out in public and before we eat. We want to get a lot of sleep and do other things that will help our body naturally have a strong immune system. For people, one of the easiest things people can do is, especially if they're worried about the flu, is to go get a flu shot. But I'm a big advocate of doing things to help our bodies naturally be able to fight off illness, too. So that's where those good habits are that come in to help our bodies be able to be a little bit more resistant to it.
Now, if you're afraid of shots or, there are some people that just don't like the flu shot, period, what are some of the things that you can do naturally to help build up your immune system so you're doing it naturally?
Yeah, sleep is one of the biggest things we can do. I say sleep is good medicine, but a lot of people don't look at it that way. Sleep is a wonderful thing. So I would say make sleep a priority. Stress management is also something that naturally can help our body and our immune system be a little more robust. And for different people, that may be different things. Exercise is a nice way for stress management, but also to help our immune system. Meditation is a wonderful way too. Sometimes just taking a moment to pause and relax and unwind, whether it's over a nice cup of tea or just soak in a bath or a shower that you're not rushing out the door afterwards. But I would say make stress management a priority in your life, because believe it or not, it not only helps us feel better, but it also helps our immune system become stronger.
Again, visiting today with wellness expert Dr. Donna Hamilton, and she's also the author of Wellness Your Way, the short and sweet guide to creating your custom plan for a happier, healthier life. And now, if there are people listening right now that maybe are prone to getting sick, like every year they get sick over and over and over, none of their friends get sick, is it something maybe that they're doing? Is there something they could do to maybe help break that cycle so they're not always getting sick?
Yeah, that's, again, I've always remind people to take a step back and look at things that we can do to make sure that our system is robust. So if you're someone who just tends to get sick or repeatedly get sick, take a step back and look at what your habits are, either things that you could do better or things that you could start to do to help make yourself a little bit more resilient and resistant. And again, those are some of the practical habits, like washing your hands, especially if you're out and about and you work with people a lot, you're shaking hands a lot, or you work in a busy office building. Again, getting sleep. I know I keep hitting that one, but that is a big one. Sleep deprivation is a huge issue, and something as simple as that can help your body be a little bit more resilient. So it's really important. The other thing is to remember that look at all the different areas that affect health, not just your physical health well-being, so not just what you put in or on your body, but also our mental arena, emotional arena, social, spiritual. Because, for example, when we have a good, healthy, supportive social relationships, that tends to help us be healthier too, not just emotionally, but also physically. For example, seniors who volunteer tend to live longer, happier, healthier, more satisfying lives. So we want to look at some other broader habits too, but of course we want to look at the physical habits. Also what we're eating, make sure our diet is something that helps our body be a little bit more nourished. So have, some of the things that we learned when we were kids, right? Eating our fruits and vegetables, have some balanced meals, try to cut out the junk food a little bit more.
Again, visiting with Dr. Donna L. Hamilton, author of the book Wellness Your Way. Let's talk about the book. What kind of things are we going to find when we crack this open? The short and sweet guide to creating a custom plan for a happier, healthier life. What are we going to find in there, Dr. Hamilton?
Yeah, right. That subtitle is longer than the book, right? People joke about it. Some of the things you're going to find in the book, one of the key messages is that being healthy is more than simply not being sick. That is a really important thing. Many people, many adults, the bar is a little bit lower. My medical specialty is pediatrics. And in pediatrics, we treat the whole child. So we look at more than simply how they're growing and developing. But for some reasons, when we become adults, people lower their bar, and they think as long as they have an okay weight and they don't have any scary diseases, they're healthy. But being healthy, the word literally means whole, W-H-O-L-E. So it means functioning at our best in all aspects of our life. So not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. That's one of the key messages to help people begin to think of health in terms of their life and not simply just in terms of their body.
That sounds fascinating. Where can I find a copy of the book?
You can get it anywhere you like to buy books. So Amazon, of course. You can get it from our website or directly from my publisher, which there are links. My website is manifestexcellence.com, and that will link directly to the publisher. It's also available at barnesandnoble.com.
Dr. Hamilton, thank you so much for taking some time to visit with us, and thank you so much for doing what you're doing to help people get healthier and happier this time of year.
Oh, thank you so so much. I'm really passionate about it. I'm on a mission to help everyone live the healthy, satisfying lives that we're meant to. And one size doesn't fit all. There are many ways to become healthy. So when people pick up the book, they'll see that they might be surprised that they can come up with a system that they hadn't tried before and accomplish some results much faster and in a much easier way.
Again, our guest today has been Dr. Donna L. Hamilton, author of the book Wellness Your Way, the short and sweet guide to creating a custom plan for a happier, healthier life. Available in local bookstores, also available online at Amazon. So go and check that out. Thank you so much, Dr. Hamilton. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Be well.
Again, the book Wellness Your Way, available online at Amazon. Thank you so much for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Todd Granis of Grants Pass, Oregon, proposed to his girlfriend by soaking his cape in gasoline, setting it on fire, and jumping into a swimming pool, then climbing out to say, "I'm on fire for you."
Oh my gosh, that is so stupid.
The fun fact there would be that some people are morons.
Hopefully she realized that the guy that she was dating was an idiot, and she said no.
I don't know if she said no.
I can't afford these doctor bills later on in life.
That is not in my story, so I don't know if she said
that
yes
is
or no.
insane.
Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In eastern Turkey, 450 sheep died after nearly 1,500 sheep jumped off a cliff. Investigators are trying to determine what could have caused such strange behavior. So 1,500 sheep jumped off a cliff, and I think it's
friend
sheep,
jumped
not
off a
sheeps.
cliff. Would you jump off a cliff
So
too?
Eastern Turkey, 1,500
Wow.
sheep, not sheeps, sheep jumped off a cliff. 450 of them died. Apparently, they were the first 450. Then after
The
that,
other
it was
ones
very
had a nice
cushy.
soft landing.
Nice soft landing. We just bounced off those sheep. Squish, 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 squish. Oh, I think we're done with fun facts for you.
Oh, my.
Coming up, we've got interesting stuff about downsizing. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
You've heard of downsizing, right? Where a
Yes.
company says, hey, we're not doing as well, so we're going to let some people go. Well, it says here downsized staffs paired with increased workloads could be causing a rise in stress levels in the workplace. Because when they downsize, they let some people go.
And then you get their work.
Yeah, somebody's got to do that work, so it's going to be you, according to...
And you're also stressed out because who's next to be let
that
go?
could be next. Well, Career Builder says they talked to 7,600 workers nationwide. 78% reported feeling burned out at work. 46% said their workload has increased over the last 6 months. 45% described their current workload as heavy or too heavy. 23% are dissatisfied with their current work-life balance. More than half, 54% of workers, said their companies offer some sort of flexible work arrangement to help manage stress levels. 2/3 say they take advantage of at least one of the programs offered. When asked which benefits they like to take part in the most, workers said number 1, alternative schedules. That was 72%. 2 said compressed work weeks, 24%. 3, telecommuting, where they're working from home, 15%. 4, summer hours, got 14%. And job sharing, 6%, were the things people liked. So I definitely understand that. If I've worked at places where not necessarily downsizing, but where somebody moved on, and when they moved on for at least a short while, I got to do their work too. Mm-hmm. And it was, it can be a struggle.
Tough.
So it's not fun. Here's the one thing that I will say. If you want a job these days, I think you can probably get one. But you got to want one. But there are a lot of people out there in some areas that are hiring. Now, that might mean taking a job that isn't necessarily the one that you wanted.
But do something until you get
Yeah, but there
one
are
that
so
you
many
want.
people out there looking for work. There are so many people out there looking for people, rather, if you really, truly do want to work. And here's the thing that I suggest. Find somebody that does something that you like to do, that you want to do, and go to them and say, hey, I'm going to work my tail off for somebody. Can I do it for you? And chances are you'll probably get the job. So go in and show them that you really, really, really want to do this. Coming up, going to talk about an interesting thing here. The title is Now You're Cooking. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
When I cook bacon, quite often I have the smoke alarm go off, but I've never had the car alarm go off.
You make such a big freaking mess when you make bacon. Every time you say,
I
made bacon, I know I've got grease to clean up from the ceiling and the walls.
It's not on the ceiling. Come on.
It's all over.
Anyway, this guy, Dean Johnson, he was trying to make family dinner, and at first they said they thought a neighborhood cat jumped into the car, coincidentally at mealtime. High-pitched alarm was driving them crazy. They figured the cat would probably learn the lesson a couple of times setting it off. Well, it wasn't. It was a bit of trial and error at the house. Turns out the car alarm was being set off by Mr. Johnson's mother's microwave.
What?
Yeah, the car alarm was working on the same frequency as the microwave.
Oh, that's funny.
He now parks the car away from his house every time his mother is cooking. So I've never set off a car alarm when I was cooking, but I have set off the smoke alarm many, many, many times. So there you go. I don't think I have an alarm on my car. If I do, I don't know how to turn it off, so I hope I don't have one. That would be terrible. My alarm's going off.
There is an alarm on the car.
I didn't even know I had an alarm. All right, coming up, where does the time go? We're going to tell you what you do spending your time during your lifetime. Interesting stuff that we spend time on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
Heidi, they say time flies when you're having fun. Have you ever heard that before?
Yes, many times.
And I've absolutely positively experienced that when I've had things that I felt were like boring and, oh man, I cannot wait till this is over. And you look at the clock and it's only been 5 minutes. It seemed like an hour. And times when you're getting together with friends and you're going to just be together for like an hour and you're like, how did that go by so fast?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how about your lifetime? Where does the time go? Well, the average person spends 6 months sitting at red lights.
Whoa.
8 months opening junk mail.
See, I don't even open it. I just throw it away, so mine's much less than that.
1 year searching through clutter in your lifetime. The average person spends 2 years playing telephone tag, where you're calling somebody and they're calling you back and you finally catch up. 2 years playing phone tag. We, on average, spend 3 years sitting in meetings. On average, we spend 5 years waiting in line. I'm not good with that one. And not quite done yet. 6 years we spend eating. And this one is the most interesting on the list. On average, we spend 7 years in the bathroom.
Oh.
So that's a lot of time in the bathroom.
There's some people that are way above average there. I think you and our daughter are.
We probably helped bring that number up.
That's ridiculous. I don't know what you guys doing there. I know you're not doing your business. You're messing around on your phones or whatever.
Getting some reading done. Yeah, finished up a book. I'm working on another one. You guys want in here? All right, coming up, going to talk about where people are dropping their babies off. This is kind of a sad story. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I got a weird story here. This
is
from Hamburg, Germany. If you don't want a baby, drop them off at the baby bank. Yeah.
What?
Social workers in Hamburg, Germany have opened a controversial baby bank where mothers can leave their unwanted newborns. The center, which is near a red light district, was set up to reduce the number of newborns abandoned on the city streets because they've had a huge issue with that. Now, it says here a woman can anonymously, but it could be anybody. Now, a woman, I'll read the story, can anonymously pass her child through a letterbox into a crib. An alarm then is set for staff so they know that there's a child that's been left there. Heidi Roosevelt, the project's leader, said, "Every baby whose life we save justifies our work." She adds, "A woman has 8 weeks to come back for her child before the baby is considered up for adoption." So there's a period in there before they'll give your baby to somebody else. This is an interesting thing. They're doing this in Hamburg, Germany.
Well, I don't have a problem with this because if the alternative is people are just leaving their children on the street and walking away from them,
it's way better.
This is a much better alternative
than the alternative. But here's the thing. Put on the brakes for a second. What in the world is going on where we have a need for something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is crazy. We shouldn't have a need for this. But apparently there is, or they wouldn't be there. Now, it doesn't say how many babies have been passed through the letterbox, but there's a thing that you open and you drop your baby into a crib and close it, and then there's an alarm that goes off so they know there's a kid there. You know, I think it's really sad.
It is very sad.
I know people who have been given up for adoption, and I know some that are very... they've done very well in life, and they don't care who mom and dad were because they say, hey, my adopted parents, that's who matters to me. But I know others who they've been adopted, and they always wonder, and it would be a difficult thing to be in, and I've never been in the situation, so I can't relate, but I think it would be even one step further to be sad to say, oh, they dropped me through a letter hole. You know, I don't know. There's something about that just doesn't seem right to me. So anyway, we do have some good news. We're going to share that before we're done here, I promise. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
Always try to wrap this program up with some good news, Heidi.
Okay.
And we need some good news today because it's a Friday, first of all. And I just had a story that wasn't such great news. So let's get to something positive. How about this one? This is kind of neat. An Alaskan family has bravely turned over the control of their Christmas lights to people on the internet. You click a button and you're able to turn areas on and off at all hours of the day and night.
Oh, wow.
ABC News says for the 6th year in a row, Ken Woods, an information technology employee in Fairbanks, Alaska, has nailed a live camera to a tree outside of his home, and then he rigged up a dozen different controls, allowing anybody who visits his website to turn on and turn off certain lights all hours of the day and night. This year, Woods is giving visitors 11 different choices of areas they can power on and power off with a click of a link. He says, you would not believe the number of people who sit around for hours turning these lights on and off.
That's
like, this
so
is neat.
sad.
On, off.
It's a cool concept that you can
is.
even do something like that. That's pretty amazing, but
the reason
I don't think I'd be interested.
The reason I share this is my good news. If this is possible, think of the good that can be done with this same technology. I mean, if you can, with the click of a button, turn things on and off in Fairbanks, Alaska, from anywhere in the world, think of all the things that we could power that would actually matter, that would be something that would be of more use.
But think of the evil that could also be done with this technology.
Yeah,
we watched a movie one time that it was, I don't know if you watched it with us. My son and I watched it. And it was similar
you mean our
to
son?
This. Yeah, our son. Sorry. Our son
Who's
watched
this
it.
you're talking about?
And it was evil that happened when you went to that website. It was not good.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is something different. I'm going to put a link on our Facebook page. I think it's just kind of a fun, make you smile kind of thing. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again next week. Fun-filled, action-packed Christmas edition of the John and Heidi Show all week, next week, right here.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can save time, you can save money, you can shave like a billionaire for as little as $3 a month. Actually, the billionaire shave, you want to get that? Do the $9 a month. That's the executive series. You can do the $3 a month. Then you can shave like an average Joe that doesn't have to go to the store every month and still saves money for just $3 a month.
There you go.
There's one in the middle as well for $6 a month. Any way you slice it, they'll bring them right to you. Again, it's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. So go check that out. Get all the details that you need in order to sign up and become a happy customer like me. You can also do gift subscriptions, but I think it's almost too late if you want them delivered by Christmas. You can do that anytime. But I think that there was a thing that said, earlier this week was the last day to have them delivered by Christmas. Let's move on to our bonus break. Santa Fe, Texas. Sandy Wilson was taking care of her 3 grandsons when a group of men attempted to burglarize her home, pointing a gun at the kids. Fortunately for them, the kids just happened to be playing the video game Grand Theft Auto on their PlayStation. The game has dozens of random police scanner messages blaring things out like,
oh my gosh,
this is the police. You are
the
surrounded.
burglar thought.
Believe it or not, this dumb crook heard that and thought they really were being surrounded by police.
That's funny.
They panicked. They all ran out the back door. Police later found all of the 4 men and arrested them for real.
Oh, funny.
So they took off because they heard a message from a video game. You're surrounded. This is the police. And they thought it was them.
That's fantastic.
That is. Speaking of the police, take a listen to this awesome story about a California police chief and his family. They're going to have a couple presents under the tree less than they have usually because they did something really nice this year. Their hearts are going to be fuller because they bought a car for a family in need.
Oh.
NBC News tells about Tim Kahn. He's been living with his wife and his children in the River Bottoms area of Yuba County in North Sacramento for about 3 years. They've been homeless. They've been desperate need for a job. He got laid off, and they need a car so he can get back and forth to interviews and actually get a job.
Right.
He voiced his frustrations on Facebook. This is the thing I don't understand. I'm not sure he got on Facebook. You said probably at a library, maybe?
Yeah, library has internet connections and computers that you can use.
That he's been looking for jobs. He's been trying. He just can't get a leg up. If I had a car, if I had a way to get to places, it'd be better. Marysville Police Chief Aaron Easton read the post, and he saw the opportunity to make a difference.
That's fantastic.
Easton's gift was not without a cost to he and his family. His kids had to give up some Christmas presents of their own this year, and they were ordered to save some money to purchase a car. The kids were cool with it. Mom was cool with it. Everybody thought it was nice, and they did something really nice for the family. That's wonderful.
I love that.
So I just think that is so cool, and I hope this man, Tim Kahn and his family, I hope they appreciate this wonderful, amazing gift that was given to them at this time of year when these guys very easily could have said, hey, it's about getting a gift.
Right.
These guys said, no, it's about giving a gift. So if you can do that same thing, imagine if we each did something nice. It doesn't have to be a car, but if we could each do something nice for somebody in need this time of year, it'd make a huge difference. It absolutely, positively will. Coming up later in the next week, I should say, because we're done with this week, but next week, I'm going to tell you what myrrh is finally.
All right.
I've always wondered. The three wise men.
I think it's an ointment.
Frankincense, gold, and myrrh. Well, we're going to tell you. It's interesting. I don't know why they would give it as a gift. So I've been doing a little research because every day next week I want to have some Christmassy stuff that we learn. And myrrh is the first on our list. So we'll do that Monday.
Sounds great.
Thank you so much for listening to the Bonus Break. And thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Bonus Break brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.